A lava flow just collapsed on the side of the most beautiful volcano in the Philippines, and it created a death current moving faster than your car. Right now, Mayon Volcano is not sitting still. It is not rumbling quietly. It is actively unleashing a chain of disasters so dangerous that thousands of people have been told, do not go back. Not tomorrow. Not yet. Maybe not for a long time. Here is what makes this terrifying. The lava flowing down its slopes is only the beginning. The real killer is what happens when that lava collapses, when it mixes with superheated gas and ash and transforms into a burning avalanche that nothing can outrun. 52 villages are already buried under a layer of volcanic ash, and the worst hazard of all has not even arrived yet. So the question is this: is Mayon building towards something far more catastrophic, or have we already seen the worst of it? From a distance, Mayon Volcano looks fake, not dangerous, not deadly. Fake, like someone painted a perfect mountain on the horizon just to make the Philippines look more dramatic. It is steep, symmetrical, and almost impossibly beautiful. Locals call it the perfect cone. Tourists fly in just to photograph it, and that beauty is exactly what makes it so deceiving. Mayon sits in Albay province on the island of Luzon, in the heart of one of the most volcanically active countries on the planet. The Philippines has dozens of volcanoes. Many of them are active. But Mayon is not just active. Mayon has erupted more than 50 times since written records began in the early 1600s. That makes it the most frequently erupting volcano in the entire country, and the country is no stranger to eruptions. But here is what the pictures never tell you. That perfect cone shape is not just beautiful, it is a warning. Mayon is a stratovolcano, which means it was built in layers: lava, then ash, then broken rock, then lava again, stacked over thousands of years. That layered structure is exactly what gives it those steep, clean sides. And those steep, clean sides are exactly what makes it capable of something far worse than a slow-moving lava flow. Stratovolcanoes are some of the most dangerous volcanoes on Earth. They do not just leak lava, they explode, they collapse. They send avalanches of burning material racing down their slopes at speeds that no person, and sometimes no vehicle, can outrun. And Mayon, with its near-perfect shape and its 400-year history of eruptions, is one of the most dangerous stratovolcanoes anywhere in the world. The fertile volcanic soil on its lower slopes has drawn farmers and families for generations. Communities built their lives in the shadow of that perfect cone, because the land was rich and the mountain was stunning. But Mayon has buried entire communities before. And what happened the last time it truly unleashed is a story that still stands in the landscape today, frozen in ash, as a warning nobody has forgotten. The year was 1814, February 1st. Mayon had been rumbling for days, a low, rolling warning that the people living on its slopes had learned to read, or thought they had. Then, without the kind of dramatic buildup that anyone expected, the mountain exploded. It buried an entire town in volcanic ash and debris within hours. The town of Cagsawa did not survive. Lava flows and pyroclastic material swept down the slopes and swallowed buildings, streets, and people whole. Around 1,200 people were killed, entire families, entire communities erased in a single eruption that lasted less than a day. The ash that buried them was not soft or fine. It was dense, heavy, and relentless, piling up until the town simply ceased to exist. What remained of Cagsawa is still there today. The ruins sit at the base of Mayon's lower slopes, partially cleared, but never fully reclaimed. And rising out of the ground at the center of what used to be a living town is a church bell tower, just the tower, and nothing else. The rest of the church is gone, crushed and consumed. But the bell tower survived, jutting up from the earth like a monument that refuses to let anyone forget what happened here. Tourists photograph it today, with Mayon's perfect cone rising in the background. It is one of the most iconic images in the Philippines. But what that image is actually showing you is a grave. An entire community, buried under the same volcano that is right now sending lava down its gullies and collapsing material into burning avalanches on those same slopes. And here is the part that should stop you cold. The communities living on those slopes today are still there. Farmers still work that same fertile volcanic soil. Families still build their homes within reach of the very gullies that channeled destruction in 1814. Because the ground is rich, because the mountain is breathtakingly beautiful, because it has been quiet until now. But here is what nobody told you about what is actually happening on those slopes at this very moment. Right now, Mayon is sitting at alert level 3. If you have never heard that term before, here is exactly what it means in plain language. It means magma is already involved, not steam, not minor tremors, not geological restlessness that scientists are monitoring from a safe distance. Magma, the same molten rock that buried Kagsawa in 1814, is actively rising beneath the volcano and pushing out through the surface as lava. The mountain is not threatening to wake up. It is already awake. PHIVOLCS, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, has been tracking the activity closely. Their reports confirm that lava is not just sitting near the crater. It is moving. Flowing downhill through 3 major gullies carved into Mayon's steep slopes, the Basud Gully, the Bonga Gully, and the Misi Gully. These are not small trickles. Lava has already traveled 3.8 kilometers, nearly 2.5 miles, down the Basud Gully alone. Down the Bonga Gully, it has reached 3.2 kilometers. Down the Misi Gully, 1.6 kilometers. And it is still moving. Those gullies matter more than most people realize. On a volcano like Mayon, danger does not spread outward in a clean, even circle. It follows the channels. The deep cuts running down the slope act like slides, concentrating and accelerating everything: lava, ash, rock fragments, and debris, and directing it straight toward the lower communities sitting at the base of those channels. The gully that looks like a geographic feature on a map is, in reality, a loaded pipeline aimed at populated land below. And the crater itself is glowing. Observers have confirmed crater glow at the summit, meaning hot magma is visible at or near the surface. There have been short-lived lava fountains. There has been strombolian activity, sudden bursts of glowing lava launched from the crater in sharp, violent explosions. The summit is changing, the system is active, and lava rolling downhill, as dramatic as that sounds, is still not the most dangerous thing happening on that mountain right now. Here is what happens when a lava flow collapses. And this is the part that changes everything. As lava piles up on Mayon's steep upper slopes, it becomes unstable. The walls of that perfect cone are not solid bedrock. They are layers of volcanic rock, ash, and compressed debris, strong enough to hold for a while, but not forever. When the weight becomes too much, pieces break off. Hot lava fragments and superheated material avalanche into the gullies below at terrifying speed. And the moment that collapsing material mixes with volcanic gas and ash and starts racing downhill, it stops being a rockfall. It becomes something far worse. It becomes a pyroclastic density current, a death current, a ground-hugging avalanche of burning gas, ash, and volcanic rock that can reach temperatures of 1,000 degrees Celsius and move faster than most cars on an open highway. Not faster than a sprinting person, faster than a car. And it arrives with almost no warning because the collapse that triggers it can happen in seconds. It does not just burn, it buries, it suffocates, it crushes, simultaneously. Anything caught inside a pyroclastic current, a building, a vehicle, a person, does not survive. This is not exaggeration. This is exactly what pyroclastic currents have done throughout recorded volcanic history, at Pompeii, at Mount Pelée, and right here at Mayon in eruptions past. This is precisely why the danger zone around Mayon currently extends 6 kilometers, nearly 4 miles, out from the crater. That is not a cautious estimate. That is the distance a pyroclastic current can travel before it loses enough energy to stop killing everything in its path. Nearly 3,000 residents have already been evacuated from inside that zone. Hundreds more left voluntarily without being asked. If that scale of danger just stopped you cold, every subscriber on this channel is automatically entered in our monthly branded hoodie giveaway. Details are in the description. But the pyroclastic current is not the only thing racing toward those communities, because above the villages, something else is already falling. While the lava flows down the gullies and the pyroclastic currents threaten the slopes, something else is already reaching the villages. Something quieter, something that most people completely underestimate until it is too late. Ash is falling. Right now, across 52 villages in Albay province, covering Camalig, Guinobatin, Legazpi city, and communities spread across the region, a layer of volcanic ash is settling over rooftops, roads, crops, and water supplies. 52 villages. That is not a localized problem. That is a province-wide crisis unfolding simultaneously with everything else happening on that mountain. And here is what most people get completely wrong about volcanic ash. It is not soft. It is not light. It is not the kind of fine, harmless powder that drifts down from a campfire and brushes off your jacket. Volcanic ash is made of tiny, sharp fragments of rock and glass, shattered by the explosive force of the eruption and carried by wind across everything downslope. You do not want it on your skin. You absolutely do not want it in your lungs. Breathing volcanic ash causes serious respiratory damage. It irritates and scars lung tissue. It inflames eyes. It contaminates open water sources, making entire community water supplies unsafe to drink. It coats roads in a slick, glass-fine layer that becomes as dangerous as ice when wet. It damages car engines, clogs air filters, and grounds aircraft. And when it accumulates on rooftops, which it does quickly during a sustained eruption, it becomes crushingly heavy. A thick layer of wet volcanic ash can collapse a roof that has stood for decades. For the farming communities on Mayon's lower slopes, the damage goes even deeper. Crops are being smothered. Livestock are at risk. The same fertile volcanic soil that drew generations of families to live within reach of this volcano is now being buried under the very material that made it fertile in the first place. But as dangerous as the ash is on its own, it is not finished causing damage when it lands. Because when the rain comes, the ash transforms into something else entirely. Most people think a volcanic eruption is a single event. The mountain explodes, the lava flows, the ash falls, and then it is over. You clean up, you rebuild, you go back to your life. That is not how Mayon works. That is not how any stratovolcano works. And in the Philippines, there is a specific reason why the danger from Mayon does not end when the eruption slows down. It is called a lahar, and it is one of the most destructive forces a volcano can produce. Here is exactly what happens. The eruption coats Mayon's slopes in thick layers of fresh ash, loose rock, and volcanic debris. That material sits on the mountain, unstable and waiting. Then the rain arrives, and in the Philippines, rain does not politely drip. The Philippines is hit by typhoons, tropical storms, and some of the heaviest sustained rainfall in Southeast Asia. When that volume of water hits the loose volcanic debris sitting on those steep slopes, it does not wash it gently away. It transforms it. The ash and rock absorb the water, liquefy, and become a fast-moving slurry of volcanic mud so dense and heavy it has the consistency of wet concrete. That slurry accelerates down the river channels and gullies, the same channels already carved deeper by the lava flows, and races toward communities below at speeds that give almost no warning time. A lahar does not burn like a pyroclastic current. It buries. It fills buildings to their rooftops. It reroutes rivers. It covers entire roads and neighborhoods under meters of compacted volcanic mud that hardens as it dries into something close to rock. And here is the detail that makes lahars uniquely terrifying. They can occur weeks, months, or even years after an eruption ends. The material sitting on Mayon's slopes right now is not going anywhere on its own. It is waiting for the next typhoon. It is waiting for the next heavy downpour. PHIVOLCS has listed lahar as an active threat, not a future concern, a present one. But even with all of this, the lava, the pyroclastic currents, the ash, the lahars, there is a deeper question that nobody can fully answer yet. Mayon is not a freak accident. It is not a geological anomaly. It is not a random mountain that happened to become dangerous. Mayon exists because of a planetary-scale process that has been running for hundreds of millions of years, and it will keep running long after every person alive today is gone. The Philippines sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire. That name sounds dramatic, but what it describes is real and measurable. The Ring of Fire is a horseshoe-shaped zone that stretches around the edges of the Pacific Ocean, covering roughly 40,000 kilometers of the Earth's surface. It accounts for approximately 90% of the world's earthquakes and hosts more than 75% of all active volcanoes on the planet. And the Philippines does not sit near the edge of that zone. It sits in the middle of one of its most active sections. Here is what is happening beneath the ground right now. Tectonic plates, massive slabs of the Earth's crust, are constantly moving. In the region surrounding the Philippines, oceanic crust is being forced downward beneath neighboring plates in a process called subduction. As that crust is pushed deeper into the Earth's mantle, the intense heat and pressure cause it to release water and minerals into the surrounding rock. That process lowers the melting point of the mantle rock above it. The rock melts. It becomes magma. And that magma rises through weak points in the crust, feeding volcanic systems like Mayon from below. Mayon is not sitting on a problem. Mayon is the surface expression of a system that has no off switch. PHIVOLCS has not raised the alert to level 4 yet. Level 4 would mean a hazardous explosive eruption is considered imminent. But level 3 is not safe, not remotely. The lava is still flowing. The gullies are still loaded. The ash is still falling on 52 villages. And the material sitting on those slopes is still waiting for the rain. Mayon has fooled people before. It looked spectacular and calm while collapse events were already racing toward the villages below. It is doing that right now. Standing at the base of Mayon Volcano on a clear day, you would not feel afraid. You would feel the opposite. The cone rises above you, steep and symmetrical, and almost impossibly perfect against the sky. The air smells like earth and rain. The farms on the lower slopes are green and alive. It looks like a postcard. It looks like peace. That is exactly what it looked like in Kagsawa in 1814. Right up until it wasn't. The church bell tower is still there, still standing above the ash of an eruption that happened over 200 years ago, in the same province, on the same volcano, above the same fertile slopes where people are still farming today. It has watched every eruption since. It is watching this one. Right now, lava is moving down 3 gullies toward communities that have been told not to return. Pyroclastic currents have already formed on those slopes, burning avalanches that move faster than traffic and hit with no warning. 52 villages are under ash. Nearly 3,000 people are displaced. And sitting on those slopes, soaking into the loose volcanic debris, is the material for the next lahar, waiting for the next storm to arrive and set it in motion. This eruption is not Mayon's largest. Not yet. But the question that volcanologists cannot fully answer, the question that keeps PHIVOLCS watching that mountain around the clock, is whether what we are seeing right now is the peak of this event. or the beginning of something worse. Alert Level 4 has not been declared. But the volcano does not wait for permission to escalate. The communities on those slopes have lived beside Mayon for generations because the land is rich and the mountain is stunning. That is not going to change, and neither is the volcano. If this story reminded you that disasters rarely announce themselves clearly, grab your free disaster preparedness toolkit. The link is in the description, because the next warning sign may not come with enough time to wait. Mayon will erupt again. The only question is what it looks like when it does.